There we go. So, welcome everybody to our weekly call. There'll be individuals joining us, and we are always excited every Wednesday to host Mindset Matters and Mindset Matters with Qminds. And the idea is that we just have a conversation that is going to enable you to benefit. And with myself, I have Maher, who is co hosting, a disciplined leader, accomplished entrepreneur in multiple sectors. And that is something really powerful when you have success across a multiple sector of different industries from distribution, manufacturing, commercial, real estate, and also actively trading forex and crypto and stocks. So he is one of our phenomenal co-founders of QBN, which you see me present pretty much every Saturday. If you are, that is part of QBN, because I know we have many of you who are out of our QBN inner circle. And the next beautiful, I would say, quality or he has that is an asset is that he speaks multiple languages, which enables him to connect with individuals globally. Um, Something that you may know or you might not know, beyond business, Maher is a seventh degree belt holder in Shaolin Kung Fu. So he's not just an entrepreneur, he really takes care of himself, I would say holistically. So it's a mind, body, and soul. So that's what we say is really, really important. And he speaks from experience about mindset, inner circles, networking, and he speaks from a lifetime of intentional growth and leadership. So welcome, Maher. I'm sure everybody's going to benefit from your exposure, expertise, and success that you have gained over these multiple decades. And I don't want to say exactly how many years because we'll give away the age.
Thank you so much, Shazia. I don't mind sharing my age. I just had a birthday on Friday. I turned 58, and I feel like I'm in the best shape of my entire life, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So, I love sharing my age because age is just a number. It's the mindset, and that's why we're doing these calls. Now, Shazia, thank you for the beautiful introduction. And what an amazing individual to have next to me to do the co host with Dr. Shazia Hussain for everybody. She's an educator, an entrepreneur. She's an author with over 20 years of global experience. Shazia holds a doctorate. She's a PhD in education. She studied and implemented multiple principles, and is currently advancing her expertise in NLP, which is Neuro Linguistic Programming Master's Practitioner. She's deeply passionate about helping others, and that's why she's here, about mindset and discipline required for profound transformation. And so, guided by her principles of her book, Love and Leverage, the Freedom Code, which I ordered on Amazon, and looking forward to read. She's an amazing individual. Beyond that, she's a beautiful spirit at heart, great mother. And, Shazi and I met about 5 years ago, and we've connected so well over the last few years and just created this amazing bond, brother and sister bond, and it just continues to grow year after year. So what an amazing person to be doing these Zoom calls with. So today, thank you everyone for being here today. This is our third session. Today, we're going to talk about your inner circle. We're going to talk about your community. We're going to talk about your network. And, I want to start off with a quote. I listen to a lot of quotes. One of my favorite quotes is by Tony Robbins. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. Yes or no? So let's elaborate on that. Let's talk about how important it is to have the people around you, how they affect you, how they play a big role in your success or your failure, how these individuals can basically determine your future. And so my dad, when I was young, he's always told me, and I'm sure you guys heard it from your parents, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. I heard that growing up a lot, and it didn't really click in until later in life. We're young, we want to make decisions, we think we know everything, and later in life, and I want to say that the biggest growth that I've had not just financially, but mentally, has been in the last 10 years of my life. It's after I decided to really focus on my inner circle. So, Shazia, tell me a little bit about your inner circle and people that are in your life and how that's helped you develop to where you're at today.
Perfect. And I guess we're all going to have different experiences, and we always say that um, there is no, what do you call it, a formula of success. It's about you learning from your experiences. So there is a structure. So I'm just going to quickly, just so that we can just as I do with just a few visuals for those individuals who need the visuals. It's just the fact that we are talking about mindset. And with that, as Maher beautifully put, it is about those people that have impacted your life. So we have that famous cliched saying, and I stuck to that because I thought most people relate to it, but we're not going to be cliched in our conversation where your network can be leading to your net worth. We're focusing on how the people that you associate with will shape your success no matter what you do. So when it comes to me, and I talk about love in my title, and a lot of had a lot of controversial comments that came through, and I had to explain that number one, I'm not a conformed individual, so I think differently, so I write differently. But for me, the meaning of love is relationships. So, because they are the people you love, the people around you, whether they are your inner circle, outer circle, associates, acquaintances, people you've worked with, with for a short period of time, worked for years, it doesn't matter. One thing that I have and I hold on to proudly is that I connect and I don't let go. It doesn't matter whether I stay in that field or I'm continually working with people, I will always remain connected. So for me, about the inner circle being friends and family can be our biggest critics. However, um, my inner circle are usually have been people that I have just met and connected with, whether it's the aura or the mindset, and we have the same grit and persistence to want to achieve the same goals. So if I audit, if I go back and audit my inner circle, it would be the friends that I've made in the last, I would say, 7 to 10 years who have become very close that I have worked with that have made an impact. And they have been a range of individuals from a range of disciplines. And those different individuals have enabled me to come out of my comfort zone. And I think that's what makes my inner circle very, very special, helping me come out of my comfort zone and challenging me to step up and believe in myself. And I think that is really, really important. And those five individuals, if I were to think about, they are all from the last 7 to 10 years that I have made contact with. So I don't know about you, Maher, because sometimes, and ladies and gentlemen, maybe put it in the chat. Do you agree? I would say if you're in a circle of family and friends, just put a one. And if they are not, put a three. Let's see, because it could be a different experience for you guys. Maybe you're in a circle and supporters are your family. So if it's your family, punch in one. And if it's not family, it's friends, put in three. I like that.
Oh,
Malik says one. And that would be another conversation as to why it's one. And I can assure you I can guess. So we could, what do you see, Maher, coming through the chat box and how you
I want to elaborate a little bit on the
sure.
five, and for me, it's about 5 to 7 people, and these people influence your thinking. They influence your standard and your identity. Okay, you will. Here's the thing. Here's the key truth. You will never consistently outperform the thinking of your inner circle. So, and it's also important. This is what I want to teach you guys. Your inner circle do not have to be the longest relationships. Okay, an inner circle, someone in your inner circle are people who tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Okay, they have that bond with you, that trust that they can tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. They hold you to high standards, expand your thinking, and they respect your time, energy, and vision. So, for our younger people in this group, I know we have people that are in college or high school. What are some red flags to people that are in your circle? Okay. Constant complaining is one. The victim mindset could be another. No personal growth, maybe some subtle jealousy masked with jokes. You know, people that are telling you let's go drinking, let's go partying time after time, and or not worrying about your studies or your schools or your job, and let's go watch a game. Let's, those for me are all red flags. I don't have those people in my life. I have people that challenge me, that hold me accountable, that respect my time and energy. So I want to ask you guys a question, okay? Or if I fully adopt habits and mindset in my inner circle, so ask yourself this. Say, if I fully adopt the habits and mindset of my inner circle right now, where will I be in life five years from today? Okay. This correlates with your goals. Okay. I'm very firm, and I always encourage people to make goals and to set goals. But now, how do these five people or seven people or whatever people play a role in making helping me achieve my goals? So I'll hand it back to you, Shazia.
And on that note, I'm just going to add the fact that I'm going to launch a poll. Let's see if I can get it right. Can you see? Because I'm just testing this one out.
Yes.
Right. So the question here is, when we talk about our people we associate with, whether they are inner, outer network, where do you spend most of your networking energy? Strengthening existing relationships, meeting new people, online engagement, or you don't dedicate consistent time to working with your network? So again, I can only see the side of the poll that I have launched. I'm not sure what you on the other side can see, but is there an option to click?
It is an option to get a Q code, and you can't literally, no, you can't click on this one.
Okay, that's fine. So at the moment, let's just call it 1, 2, 3, 4. So whichever option you want to go with, 1 for strengthening existing relationships, 2 meeting new people, 3 online engagement, or 4 because it correlates with what Maher was saying that the people that don't really have impact in life are not those he wants to associate with because they have to have, as Mason put, I think, they've got no purpose. So Velena says 1. Anybody else? Anyone want to add? So where do when you are meeting new people? Carmen, 1, strengthening existing relationships. I like that. And we can think about why it's so important to strengthen those and meeting, take care of those who already have in your life. Yes. And what I'm finding is no one's really thinking about online engagement and how much time we currently spend online. I mean, isn't that interesting, Maya? Because we do significantly spend a lot of time online, but most individuals,
Especially this new generation. I mean, they're online a lot. So, when we talk about the room, it could be, the chat room, it could be the online room, but the room that you're in um, shows up consistently in your growth, accountability, and the values you exist. So, here's the key truth: isolation kills growth, community accelerates growth. So, we're not telling you to be isolated or you need to find people in your network or people that have the same mindset in order to help you grow to that next level in life and in success. And I would not be here today, owning multiple businesses, involved in real estate and trading Forex, if it wasn't for my community and for my inner circle. I'd be stuck in my one traditional family owned business, but because I stepped out of my comfort zone, I met new people. I met people that I could learn from. My community. That's what helped me become the successful entrepreneur that I am today. And so I want to pass that on to my children. I tell them all the time, and a few of them are on this call. Choose your friends wisely because the community will shape what feels normal. When growth is normal, then excuses disappear. So the right community that you have, you guys celebrate wins, you normalize discipline. Discipline becomes normal now. You challenge your comfort zone. Okay. They push you to step out your comfort zone. Okay. They share, values and vision with you. And so these are people that I deal with on a daily basis. So community, again, is not social. Everyone on this call, community is not social. It's advancing, it's developmental. Okay. So does the community ask yourself this question, does the community pull me forward or keep me comfortable? And then moving on, your network is who you can reach. Learn people that you can learn from, people that you can serve. Network doesn't just grow by asking, it grows by becoming valuable. So let's talk about what network is. Network is built on credibility, consistency, and contribution. So most people are always saying, what can I get? What can I get? They're me, me, me. But a high performer, people that you want in a community, someone that can serve. How can I serve? Everyone on this call that I know, if you've ever come to me or called me or asked me, I'm there, I'll give you the time or whatever you need. And so people that can help and serve, those are people that you want in your inner circle. So Shazia, I'll get it back to you for the
Yeah, and
people.
that's what I was just going to echo what you've just said through just a visual as well, that it's about relationship building. And I think once you've got that relationship, you get the trust. Some of us, if we think from a business perspective, can jump into, and I've had it with me where we cold call and we're trying to sell. So if we're thinking from we're trying to build a business and we're thinking, right, I've just been on a training and I've been told it's about numbers, it's not about the no's. We've just got to plow through the numbers and get the yeses. But there's a missing piece connected to that, and that is that who are you connecting with, and have you actually connected with them for them to find out what it is that they would benefit from you? What can you give them? Just like Maher said, that the community that he interacts with, it's his network, and he's built a relationship because it is built around who you are as an individual. People who connect with individuals are not connecting with the company or any I would say the tag of the name of the business. They're connecting with the individual because they trust you. They trust what you do and what you will offer. And that's why they feel they don't then have to go and do as much due diligence as they would need to, because they know you over a period of time, especially if you're strengthening those relationships over time. And therefore, that relationship is very, very powerful that they have with you. So again, we're just reiterating, family and close friends can be your inner circle, but they can also be your work colleagues, like I mentioned, or professional contacts. I have friends online that I have never physically met. Had I not met Maher through QBN, I guess we would have remained connected online, but not have actually physically met. But there are individuals, and there's certain ones that I have worked with through remote relationships, and they are some of the closest people that I am to. And I've shared through professionalism, through personal life as well. And within them, some of them have become like mentors, some like coaches, and others role models. So it is that the strongest influence of the inner circle is really important, and these are all things, Maher, you've said, the way you spend time with them, the way they affect your mindset, how they influence you to really reach out to your dreams. They don't shut you down, making you think what you're thinking and dreaming is too big. They actually support you, champion you, and they create accountability opportunities by challenging you. Maher, your view on constructive criticism. You mentioned about people shutting down, and also you mentioned how they might make what's the word, not so positive remarks. But there's a difference between being constructive in your criticism in a supporting manner and shutting somebody down. Because when you said that, and I suddenly the word that came to my mind was passive aggression, where they are in a passive way digging into your into your soul, really, by not validating but making you feel small. And I'm sure many of you on the call have had those experiences. So what advice can you give those individuals, and they are in a situation like that? Because you can be suddenly coming out of your comfort zone and growing, and it just takes one person to knock you
So
down.
yeah, that's that happens a lot, and it's very good. And I've had people throughout my life that criticize in a negative matter. They didn't elevate me, and so the way I handled those situations was, hey, I stopped hanging around those people. I stopped calling them. Some of them might be even family members. And I have them in my own family. I have a very, very large family, and there, unfortunately, you have family members that are jealous. They don't want to see you grow. You just don't associate with those people. You move on. You want to be around people who give you positive reinforcement even when it's difficult. So I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I had a fear of public speaking. And so I was pushed on stage to do a speech about a certain subject. And I was extremely nervous. I was sweating. It was only about 30, 40 people in the room. And we're talking about 20 years ago. And so afterwards, these individuals, they came, they told me how awesome I did. They said it was an amazing, amazing speech. I can't wait for you to do it again. I knew inside that it was a terrible speech. I was nervous. I was shaking. I was talking too fast. But those people became they became part of my inner circle for many years afterwards. And so you wanna be around people that are going to give you positive reinforcement. And going back to what you said, there's always going to be people around you that are going to criticize you, usually because of jealousy, usually because of you're headed in the direction you're doing something that they want to do, and so you wanna slowly cut them out from your inner circle. Now, I have very, very few people in my inner circle, people that challenge me, and people that I talk to on a daily basis, and we just focus on growth, and not just growth mentally, but also physically. We talk about, hey, how many push-ups did you do today? I did 100. Did you do your prayers? Challenge you spiritually, physically, mentally. Those are people that I want in my life. People that are gonna not just challenge me, hold me accountable even. Did we get this project done? Where are we at with this project? And so I wanna go on to this next subject. Okay. I want everyone in this room to ask yourself a question somebody's trying to admit. Okay, you got it. Uh, Today, when you leave this call, and these calls are about 30 to 40 minutes, and we know it's a middle of the day of some people, and 2 a.m. in another place where Mason is at. So we keep these calls about 30 to 40 minutes. We don't want to drag them on too long. But I want everyone today to ask yourself this question: who in my inner circle challenges me the most? Okay, you don't have to answer it now or in your chat, but you need to ask yourself that question. Who in my circle consistently drains my energy? Okay. Tell yourself, what room do I want to be in this year? Okay. What do I need to do to deserve the next level of my network? Okay. Because although you want people to be in your network, they might not want to be you to be in their network. So does that make sense? Yes, I'd love to have certain people in my network, but what do I do to deserve to have them, me, want to be in their network, if that makes sense? So ask yourself these questions today. And I like to write these down. I like to write my goals down. After this conversation, if anything resonates with you, write it down. Okay, these calls are not made to just have a quick 30-minute chat to move on with your day. These calls are generated for you to actually make a change in your life. And if you're not happy with your inner circle, well, today is the time to start looking at who do you want in your inner circle. Okay, who do you want in your community? Who do you want to network with? I love networking, and that was the talent that my father always had. Everywhere we would go, whether it's a restaurant or a business, he'd want to know who the owner is with, and he treated them so kindly, and they were always at his service. So your network, your community, and your inner circle are extremely, extremely valuable for your growth in your next stage in your life, and for helping you achieve your goal. So gonna hand it back to you, Shazia, for a few minutes, and then
Yeah.
up this call.
Before I share the marble jar theory that I was exploring the other day and I found fascinating, just wanted to just this one slide that relates to what Maher was saying is when you're auditing your inner circle, think about who makes you where doesn't yes, you need to come out of your comfort zone, but think about who's pushing you out to growth. Who's keeping you in the fear and keeping you lacking in self-confidence. They are the ones when we say eliminate, it's a pragmatic way of doing it. Not like, oh, right, you're not in my inner circle anymore, but really, who are you going to spend and invest your time with more than ever? Who are the ones that are pushing you to gain fulfillment and live your dreams and sort of motivating you to set goals and grow and increase your knowledge and confidence. And whenever you're with them and you come back, you feel actually that was amazing. You feel good about yourself, and whether it's your fitness, whether it's your mindset, whether it's your body, it doesn't matter, but they are always there to support you. And as I was going to share, Brené Brown was having a conversation about the marble jar theory. And she said, your people are the ones that associate with this marble jar. And it was, they are truly concerned about you. Mahir, how are you feeling today? How's your dad? How are your children? They connect with you emotionally. And so every time someone really touches you for you or connects with you and wants to know about you, and there's no personal gain, there's no professional gain, it's all about just being there for you. You add a marble into the jar. And it's valuing who you are. So when you come into a scenario where you're thinking, right, I'm going to lead this group or community, you don't have to say, trust me on this one. They trust you because you've always been there for them when they needed you. And that's where you know who that individual or who those individuals are that you truly can go to, because it's not always about connecting for something and getting something back. They say, as I think Jim Rohn was the one, that you just have to sow the seed, and you keep sowing the seed, and then you keep watering them. That's nurturing them, and then there will be a time where you will either get growth in harvest, some the birds will take away, and some will die, and it's okay. And it's about giving without immediate expectation. And I think in the current, and I know that we've got youngsters on the call, we expect immediate now. It's like that because we're so used to instant gratification. We don't have to wait for anything. Even when we connect that to what we do in life, we want it immediately. But we have to understand that the solid connections are those that grow over time. And I really like that theory about the marble jar, because sometimes in this fast-paced world, be honest, put it in the chat. Yes, it has happened where you've picked up the call and you've jumped straight into the task because of time being a challenge, and haven't paused and reflected and said, hello, how are you? And had a quick catch up before, because you're going through a list of people that you need to connect with and you're just doing a task, a tick box exercise.
I have something to say that especially the younger people or anyone on this call can benefit from. Do not be afraid to invite people to a conversation, to a cup of coffee, to ask for some advice. And the reason where I'm going with this is, especially as younger people in this room, you see successful people, maybe millionaires or billionaires that have achieved success in their life. You almost feel like they're unapproachable. They've achieved a level that's unapproachable. No, they're a human just like you. Okay. I've achieved lots of success in my life, but anybody, my yard guy this morning approached me and wanted to ask some questions about what I do. And I spent 30 minutes talking to him, and open his mind and his vision to him starting his own business and his own company. So don't be afraid. And I gave him my time. People that have achieved success, 99% of them started where a lot of us, were many years ago. We developed this inner circle that helped us achieve the success through life and through time. And so don't be afraid to approach somebody Ask them for time, ask them for advice, and maybe they can be part of your inner circle. Okay, so that's a bit of advice and share. I want to, before we close, ask yourself, here's a challenge for each and every one of you guys today. A final challenge. Audit your inner circle. Do an audit of your inner circle. Who's your inner circle? And write down what these people are doing for you in your achieving your goals. Upgrade your community. Okay. Elevate your value to grow your network. Okay. So this is a challenge. I challenge each and every one of you to continue with your growth, to continue, with your mindset. And there's something that I like to say. Your future isn't determined by your intentions. It's determined by who you allow to influence you. Okay. I'll repeat that. Your future isn't determined by your intentions. It's determined by who you allow to influence you. I don't care what level you are in your life, there's somebody in this world that's going to influence you. Okay. And you allowing them to influence you is going to help you determine where you're going to be in life. And I was influenced by some amazing people, my father being one of them, my Kung Fu teacher, Master Azzolini, also an amazing mentor, challenged me, influenced me into the direction, created discipline in my life. And so I have, and I think he's still on the call with us, Mason, and he doesn't have to come on the call, but I'd like to share when I met Mason at a gym, and he played for the Sacramento Kings. He's a professional basketball player. He's playing overseas at the moment. It's I think 2 a.m. and he got up to be on this call. So I love you, brother. Thank you for being on this call, Mason. He said to me during that lunch, he said, Maher, my inner circle are not always my teammates. He's played for many teams around. A lot of these people make a lot of money. They like to party, drink, and play around. He has a master's degree in business from Harvard University, 26-year-old, okay, professional basketball player. What an amazing individual. Someone that he's half my age, but I look up to him. I mean, can you imagine that mindset at that age? What an amazing mindset. And so he reached out to me. We sat down. He came to lunch with a pen and paper and took notes and about suggestions, book to read. So we became in each other's inner circle. I'm learning from him. He's 26, but I'm learning from him as well. And so his resilience and his dedication. So thank you, Mason, for everything you do, and continued and best of luck to you and everything you do. So I'll hand it back to you, Shazia, for a quick note, and then we'll finalize this
Yeah,
call.
I mean, Mason's saying, I'm always grateful for you, my guy. Always great to call you my mentor. And just to, again, close on the same points Maher kind of raised is do those activities, audit your inner circle and think what's holding you back, who's holding you back. And you know what? Your intuition will tell you. Sometimes, have you had a conversation where you've assumed this person is going to be supportive of your idea or join you, and then the way they have responded hasn't aligned with the way you thought they would, and then your gut feeling, you can tell whether it's jealousy, as Maher said, or if it's professional jealousy or whatever it may be. So just politely move on. And again, as Maher said, think about what you're going to take away from these sessions as well. Like, it's funny because me and Maher don't even compare notes when we come on the call. It's
No,
all improvisation, but it's interesting how it's always aligned, and it's, audit your current circle and who influences you the most. And maybe just go to them and tell them the impact they're having. Because sometimes just saying that I'm having that conversation of gratitude can elevate the other individual as well. Maybe go away and join at least one growth focused community. If you're already part of one, if you join another, you're going to be adding to your network, if you like. Reach out to one person who inspires you, and just intentionally have that conversation, and you don't know where that conversation might go. Sometimes we don't reach out to people because we think, oh, let's just How many of you just text or WhatsApp instead of picking up the phone? I know we have started doing a lot of that, but the intonation, the connection of voice, if it's not there, it's not the same. And reduce time with the consistent negative influences around you. Have that growth mindset about what's helping me grow, the challenges, not the fixed about giving up when you're frustrated. The power of yet, I'm not there yet, but I will get there, and break it down into small steps so that you can achieve them. How many times I still remember when I had my no's in network marketing, and I would say that one no would bash me down, and I'd be like, I can't do this, it's not for me. And I had to train and coach that you're going to get lots of no's. The no's are going to lead you to the yeses. If I don't know my product well enough, I'm going to get the no. The person's going to feel, or she got a clue what she's talking about, and she's asking me to do the same. And then I had to reach out to mentors and, like Maher, learn about. I don't have to be the expert, but I can connect them with somebody who is, and I can say, well, actually, I'm really excited. I'm part of something really great, or I'm going to be doing something. I'm not fully aware of the product, but I have a fabulous coach or a mentor who can explain, or invite them in a way that you can say, well, actually, I'd love your opinion on what I want to get involved in. And that's a nice subtle way of actually auditing your circle, because do they give you the time? Because if they don't, should they be in your inner circle? Maher gives time. He's not going to say, I ain't got time for you guys.
Always, always, yeah.
Always.
Anyone
Yeah.
that needs any, just pick up the phone, send me a message, and Valena and all these people on here. I've dedicated time to you guys. Where we need to meet lunch or whatever you need, I'm there for you guys. I love everybody on this call. I appreciate you guys for being here. I want to give a shout out, and I think my daughter Alia is on this call as well. I
I
wanna
did
I
see her.
wanna I wanna give a shout out to my daughter because
Where's
I'm,
she?
I'm so proud of her. She's 20 years old, and her circle of friends are so amazing. She has led childhood friends that she grew up with out of her circle because they didn't have the right mindset. They didn't help her grow. They didn't challenge her, or they were holding her back. She moves on, and her circle of friends is so amazing. And I can see why she's at, and she has such a bright future. She tried out. She's a professional dancer as well. She's majoring in marketing and creative media productions, but she grew up dancing her entire life. She tried out for her college drill team. They said no, but she stayed resilient, and now she's a professional dancer for the reigning champion Oklahoma Thunder basketball team, and she just got that accomplishment this year. We got to see her dance, and so very, very proud of her mindset, and could tell she's been listening, and that's such a warm feeling for a parent. So congratulations, honey. Love you. As a final closing statement, as we're wrapping it up, we're 45 minutes into the hour. Your life will never rise above the level of your inner circle. Your growth will never exceed the standards of your community, and your reach will never go beyond the value you bring to your network. So today, I want everybody, be intentional about who you let close. Be disciplined about the rooms you enter, and be relentless about becoming someone worth following. I'm going to say that last one again. Be relentless about becoming someone worth following. Because when you elevate your inner circle, you elevate your thinking. And when you elevate your thinking, you elevate your actions. And when you and when your actions change, your entire future changes. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you guys for being on the call today. I love you all. Looking forward to next week. Continued. Shazia, any final statement?
All I was going to say was for next week, a suggestion from the list that we have, and it links quite nicely with what we've been talking about. And if you agree, defeat, fear, rejection, and procrastination, because it links to what we've been talking about, those people that hold you back. So if you're happy with that, Maher, we can announce that next week we'll look at defeat, fear, rejection, and procrastination, how to overcome that.
I that's an amazing topic, and I have so much to say about it. Looking forward to seeing you guys then. Please invite your friends, your family. This is free. This is for everybody.